on, y'all boys? It's your boy Chance coming to you live from the Duval Dogs podcast. This is another episode of 30 Days of Draftmas. We're getting closer and closer, man. We are talking about Cole Van Lanen, sixth round pick to the Green Bay Packers, our new left tackle for the 2026 and 2027 season, I'm sure. And we're going to talk about and see why he fell to the sixth round, why we as the Jaguars signed him, and what did the scouts miss? So he was drafted in 2021, 6'4", 305 pounds. The Jaguars love a smaller guard. Now, 300 pounds isn't small by any chance, but they love more athletic guards. There's been some 315, 320, 30-pound guards in the league, but the Jaguars gravitate to smaller guys. 315. I think Cole Van Lanen's on the smaller side. He was a guard before. He's a tackle now, but I'm just saying he was on the team as a guard initially, and we're known for smaller guards. I think Cleveland is 315. I think Macari is around the same, if not maybe a little bit bigger. I'm not 100% sure, but I doubt. Yeah, he's around that size. But he's a 6'4", 305-pound tackle now, and he was a sixth-round pick, 214 to the Green Bay Packers. That says a lot about, Cole Van Lanen. I mean, Cole Van Lanen. The two rookies that we, drafted last year, and Wyatt Milam in the center. Can't remember his name. A seventh-round pick. Yeah, scream at the screen for me. But this is what his strengths were. Comes from a run-heavy pro-style system, strong at down blocks, double teams, and sealing edges. Plays with physicality and toughness. And this is an evaluation of a guard. So remember, they're evaluating him as a guard. So these are a plus at the tackle position because being tough, being strong, being able to do, double team blocks, all those things, you know, football IQ, multi-year starter at a high-level program, understands assignments, leverage, and angles, rarely looks lost, technically sound player. Love that. Good grip strength and ability to sustain blocks. Can move defenders when he gets proper positioning. Played tackle in college. Projects better inside at guard in the NFL. Seem to be wrong about that. Weaknesses. Not very quick laterally. That can't be true because playing tackle, you have to be quick. You got to be a basketball player out there, essentially, a center. Can struggle against speed rushers on the edge. If beaten early, has trouble recovering, needs help with versus twitchy defensive linemen. Pass protection, ceiling, average anchor versus power. Lacks elite traits to handle top tier pass rushers at tackle. Okay. All right. And like I said, they said he doesn't have an elite anchor, and he's 305 pounds at what? And they're speaking to him being a guard. So 300 pounds at guard on the NFL level is small. I would personally, if I had to drop a guard, it would be about 6'3", 320, 315, 325 pounds, somewhere in that range, but can still move a little bit. So 305 is what, 25 pounds, 30 pounds less than ideal. Well, not 30 pounds, but you get what I'm saying. Less than ideal. So as a guard, he saw some snaps at tackle, uh, played a decent amount at college at tackle, but not enough to be truly projected there. They thought he was more of course, a guard, and that's what he was drafted as a sixth-round pick. So they thought his talent was a sixth-round guard, and this guy just got paid to be a left tackle on a 13-win team. Yeah, somebody messed up on this one, genuinely, because he played pretty much lights out last year when he got his chance at left tackle. Uh, took Walker's Little's job. I kind of get a little pause with that situation because I'm not saying he's another Walker Little, but just saying that this literally happened last year with Walker Little. Not the same circumstance, but Walker Little got paid in the middle of the year and he was playing decently. And the next year he got supplanted by a 6th round guard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this is going to happen now. I have more faith in Cole Van Lanen, not because I know who Cole Van Lanen is or any of that, but I have faith in the front office that they know what they're talking about. I mean, can you imagine making this move for Cole Van Lanen while Tony Baselli is sitting right there? you you're going to have elite opinion coming at you and an elite understanding of the game. And best believe Tony Baselli has watched this film. He might not be his coach or whatnot, but you cannot have Tony Baselli in this office sign a tackle that he's not fond of. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Now, does Tony Baselli think the world of him? Not 100% sure, but he definitely thinks enough of him to say, you know what? Let's give this guy a couple years to prove himself on a decent sized contract on a 13-win team. We can win with this guy at one of the most important positions on the field, offense or defense. It goes from quarterback to left tackle. That's the quarter. That's a $40 million security guard right there. You have to guard $40 million plus. They're trusting Cole Van Lanen, a 6th round pick from the Green Bay Packers that got traded because he wasn't good enough on the Green Bay Packers. That's how you come back. That's how you shake back. Ah, Man, that's a great story, honestly. And I know he feels great about it. But yeah, I I didn't see him, get bull rushed or get pushed back too much or just, be overwhelmed by any of the guys down the line when it comes to, mid season and on when he got his shot. What I do remember is Walker Little getting pushed, like vividly, Walker Little getting pushed back, getting finessed. Man, it was obvious. And so I'm not a O-line guru, but I know what good and bad looks like. And I know when that pressure comes from the left side, it's very noticeable. I noticed it with Cam Robinson. I noticed it with Walker Little. And I did not notice it with Cole Van Lanen. When Cole Van Lanen went down and he was not able to play in that game, I knew. I just knew. I'm like, that playoff game, my heart didn't sink. I was like, okay, let Walker Little do his thing. Let's see. You know, let's see what Walker Little has. And I just, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. So I digress. The the scouts were wrong about a few things about his anchor, about, dealing with quicker linemen. And it's hard because the scouts are talking about him at guard. So when they say quicker linemen, they're talking about defensive tackles. They're not even talking about offensive tackles. So I guess that makes them even more wrong because edge quick is Von Miller. Interior quick is Eric Armstead, Jeffrey Simmons. And of course, those guys are really quick, but Von Miller is a whole different level when it comes to quickness, right? Because he's an edge, he's a smaller player, all those things. So for him to hold up on the outside with the quickness of those types of guys, I'd say the scouts are wrong in that regard. I haven't seen him get bull rushed, and granted, being bull rushed by a defensive tackle and being bull rushed by a edge are two different feelings, two different positions, but strength is strength, and I feel like he's in the right position right now at left tackle. I'm excited about the pairing of Anton Harrison and Cole Van Lanen. I feel as if Cole Van Lanen is ready to have a really good year. Not saying he's gonna be a superstar, Pro Bowler, whatever the case may be, but you won't hear his name being called for penalties and all those things. That's something that we just cannot have. And that's part of the reason why, a little tangent, I want Patrick McCary, I want Wyatt Milam to challenge Patrick McCary this offseason. Patrick McCary is known for all those holdings and all those things. If not just in Jacksonville, but at the Ravens, that's all they talked about. He was a walk-in penalty. And I think it's more upside when it comes to Wyatt Milam in that regard. So it will be great to have Cole Van Lanen, a younger guy, Anton Harrison, them paired on the outside, and then have Wyatt Milam paired up with Cleveland. I like Cleveland. Cleveland isn't the best guard in the world, but Cleveland is a very solid guy where you're really gonna have to draft really well to replace him, I believe. And it's kind of his story is kind of the same as Cole Van Lanen's, where he was in the Vikings and we traded for him. Balky traded for him, and Balky made these moves. Balky made these moves. I'm not a Balky fan, but Balky traded for Cole Van Lanen. Balky traded for Cleveland, um, Ezra Cleveland. He drafted Parker Washington. He drafted Antonio Johnson. Did he draft Anton Harrison? I maybe. I can't think right now. But yeah, like yeah, he just wasn't the best guy to work with. But I know he's looking back I'm sure he texted Shad Khan or called Shad Khan and was like, look, those are my players that just did this. I chose those players. I know if I was Balky, I would. I chose those players. I'm talking to other teams. You see what happened in Jacksonville? I chose those players. But honestly, it's not about you choosing the players. It's about team building, and it's about working well with others. I mean, that's just Brenton Strange. Thought about that. But yeah, so anywho, so that's Cole Van Lanen in a nutshell. I'm excited about him. He's one of those Duval dogs that I speak of, and that's why I call this channel Duval Dogs, because for so long we've been underdogs, and I feel as if there's so many players on this team that are considered underdogs right now. Just the pure fact because they're Jacksonville Jaguars. These guys can be potential stars. Antonio Johnson, Parker Washington. These guys are underdogs. Got drafted super late for their talent. And look at them, Cole Van Lanen. Like these guys are becoming who they need to be for us to excel and go on their Super Bowl run. So make sure you guys check out the next episode. Stay tuned for the next episode of Duval Dogs podcast. 30 days of draftness. Every day I'm hitting you, hitting you, hitting you every day. Make sure y'all stay tuned. And remember, Duval. Let's go.